Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Kristen and welcome to my channel. I upload videos 3 times a week and I hope you decide to stick around by hitting that subscribe button. So today I'm going to be telling you guys about my college experience and getting kicked out of 2 colleges. I know you guys can hear my dog. She, for whatever reason, feels the need to bring food in here to eat it, and she can't just stay in the back where her food bowl is. She doesn't want to eat by herself. So please ignore all the doggy sounds. So anyway, yeah, I got kicked out of 2 colleges. And the reason I'm going to go ahead and tell this story now is because I know school is just starting. This may even be a little too late to be telling this, because if you've just started college and you're having regrets about it, I don't know that you can even get out of it at this point. But I feel like it needs to be talked about because it is so heavily pushed that after high school you go to college. And college isn't for everybody. And honestly, I feel like college is the biggest mistake, especially the biggest financial mistake I have made in my adult life. And I regret it. Hi, Banjo. My kitty's coming in to say hello. But I regret going to college. I am $14,000 in debt. I don't have a degree to show for it, and I will be paying on that for a very long time to come. So let's talk about how I ended up going to college. I was the first person in my family to go to college. My parents, I guess, did go to college back in the 80s, but I don't think they went to like a university. My dad was in the military, and they went to like, I don't know. I don't even know what you would really call it. It's one of those like for-profit kind of schools. It's not like a university. And neither one of them graduated. My mom went to cosmetology school. She didn't end up graduating that either, just due to like the moving that they had to do for being in the military. She wasn't able to complete her courses. But I was the first person to go to like an actual university in my family. And my senior year, I think it was, of high school, and probably even my junior year too, it was probably junior and senior, all of my teachers kept putting pressure on us and asking us, you know, what do you want to do when you go to college? What are you going to study for? What do you want to be when you grow up? And I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Like, I was clueless. I had no idea what I wanted to do, what I wanted to study, what I wanted to major in. I didn't know how college worked. I didn't really have any good source of advice to go to as far as asking about these things. Plus, I didn't even know the questions I needed to be asking. I just felt completely clueless. And of course, my parents didn't have very many answers when it came to college because of the experience that they had. And, you know, they didn't really, like I said, they didn't go to a university. And I didn't know what I was doing. And I should also throw it out here that I struggled all through high school. I struggled through elementary school and middle school. Like, I just struggled. Okay, like school, I enjoyed it, but I wasn't particularly good at it. School was hard for me. In like the 2nd or 3rd grade, I was diagnosed with having dyslexia, and it was just all an uphill battle. It was a struggle. And I'm not saying that if you have a learning disability that you can't go to college. You definitely can go to college. But I think that if you struggle in school, maybe you should think about and consider like trade schools and learning a trade skill instead of college. That's just my personal advice. I know other people will disagree with me, but it's honestly something that I wish I would have done right out of the starting gate. That way I could have had a decent career, and then if I decided to go to school later on, you know, I'd have had a backup plan. So, as I mentioned, all of our teachers and stuff kept asking, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? You know, what are you going to do? What are you going to study? And I just, you know, I don't remember if I was talking to my guidance counselor or what it was, but what teacher it was. But I remember talking to somebody and then like really putting pressure on me to pick something, and I don't remember if we were like filling out paperwork for college or what it was, but I just said, I'll be a dental hygienist. I'll go to school for dental hygiene. That's without looking into the career at all, knowing anything about it. knowing where the schools are located at for dental hygiene in my state, I knew nothing. And I came up with that because I like going to the dentist. I'll go into dental hygiene because I like to go to the dentist. That's how I decided what I would study in college off of. That's, in my opinion, not the best way to decide your life career. Not really a good move. But honestly, like I said, I was clueless. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And that's okay to not know what you want to do or where you want to go or how you want to go about things. I don't feel like it's right for schools to put such pressure on young people to make a major life decision. It's okay if you decide to go to college just to do your basics, just to go for your general studies for the first year or so, which I didn't even know what that was until I was like what would have been a junior in college. So anyway, I chose dental hygiene. I miraculously ended up graduating from high school. I think my senior year I graduated with straight D's, and I'm not saying that to be funny or cutesy. I'm just to put it out there with that's how bad I was at school. I was not good at school, and I struggled the whole way. I ended up getting, I guess what you would call a GED, General Education Diploma. I did not get the Core 40. I did graduate through my high school. I did walk in the graduation ceremony. My high school diploma, says my high school's name on it, but it's not a Core 40. I was like one credit off from getting the Core 40. Like I said, I graduated with straight D's. So for whatever reason, I was able to get into IUK, Indiana University of Kokomo, and I started college immediately, like right after high school. I started up for the summer semester, and I didn't do too bad. I think I got like a high C in that class. Not great, and that automatically, I think, put me on probation for the following semester. Because I think you had to have like higher grades or something like that, like the ones you had like a B average or something. But I thought getting a high C, I didn't think I did bad, but that's coming from graduating with all D's, so what are you going to compare that to? Sorry, I needed to take a puppy break. I needed to get some snugglings in. So anyway, the following semester I took a full course load. I struggled the entire way. My guidance counselor that I had for school, I personally didn't think was very helpful. It wasn't until I got in there for my, what would be my second semester of college, so technically it's like the first semester for everybody else because I did do the summer semester. She told me that, we don't do dental hygiene here at this particular school, but after you get your basics in, then we can transfer you to another college, like all this other stuff. It was just getting really, really confusing. I struggled that entire semester, and then at the end of that semester, I went in because for whatever reason, I was not able to register for the next semester, and I went in to talk to my guidance counselor, and she told me, your grades are so bad that you need to take a semester off. You can't come back next semester. You can come back the semester after that. And so I went home and told my parents, and they were very upset with me. And my dad told me, well, head over to Ivy Tech, which is the local community college, and register there, sign up there, because I got accepted to both the university and the community college. So I headed over to community college, and I signed up there, and I went there for a couple of years. I never officially made it through my freshman year of college as far as credits are concerned, but I ended up doing 4 years of college. I had to take remedial math classes that I could never seem to get out of. I took anatomy class repetitively, and I could just never seem to pass anatomy. I did well in English. I passed that. I passed communications. There were several classes that I did pass and did okay in, but a lot of the things that I needed for my degree, I kept failing in, like the math and the science. I was just struggling. So I decided to change my major, and I decided to go for business. But I had a lot of stuff going on in my personal life, issues with a boyfriend that I had at the time. My job wanted me to work a lot, and at that particular time I was making pretty decent money with that job and with the hours I was getting, and so school kind of fell to the back burner, and I just wasn't doing well. And it finally came down to where Ivy Tech put a hold on my financial aid and told me that I could continue to come, but I had to pay out of pocket. So when that happened, I ended up losing my medical insurance with my parents, and because to stay on their medical insurance I had to be a full-time student, and I ended up paying out of pocket for the next year, I think, for college, and I just dropped down to taking, I think, like 2 classes a semester. And I ended up changing my major again. I ended up going to teaching. I thought I'd like to be a teacher because I did do substitute teaching right out of high school, and I really did enjoy substitute teaching. And I know it sounds kind of weird to say that I wanted to be a teacher with how much I struggled in school, but I did enjoy school, and I feel like I would have been a good English teacher or something along those lines, because I'm really good at English, I'm really good at history, and if I could have studied something like English or history, been an English or history teacher, I feel like I would have done really well. So I decided to go back to college, and I was taking like early childhood education classes and things like that for Ivy Tech, and I don't do well when I'm in a class and the teacher doesn't know how she wants to run things. In this particular semester, Ivy Tech changed things up, and it went from being like we had, I think if I remember right, I think we had 2 or 3 hour long classes once a week, per class. And then they changed it to where you had class twice a week, and I think the class was like 45 minutes or an hour. So my teacher for one of the classes just couldn't seem to get things straightened out for how she wanted to run the class. And I don't do well when teachers don't have a set schedule and when things are just like changing every other class period. I'm sure some of you have had classes like that where it's like you get a syllabus and then you get a new syllabus and then you get a new syllabus and the teacher's like, oh, we're going to change more on the syllabus. And it's like, I can't function like that. I can't keep things straight like that. I really struggle when that happens. I really struggle with my course load and with my assignments, and I can't handle it, is what it comes down to. So that was going on with this particular class. And at this point, I knew that if my GPA dropped any lower, the Ivy Tech was going to kick me out. So I decided to drop that class because I thought that would save my GPA, because I knew there was no way I was going to recover. I was failing that class. I was too far into the semester, and I was just struggling. On top of that, I had a project I had to do. It had to be some kind of a study, and I needed to have a kid to study. And I knew nobody with a kid of the appropriate age. The only kid that I knew was like 3 months old, and that wasn't going to fit for this particular project I had to do. So like I was like SOL on that. And like I remember talking to my teacher and being like, I don't know any children. And she's like, oh, go ask a neighbor or something. I was like, yeah, my neighbor is going to let me do an experiment on their kid for me to write a paper on. Okay. So I dropped that class. And when I dropped the class, that ended up dropping my GPA. And so Ivy Tech kicked me out. And that was that for my college career. Like I said, I did about 4 years, and I have nothing to show for it but $14,000 worth of debt. And unfortunately, my story is not the only one like it. I have numerous friends that have had very similar experiences, who did not get college degrees, who are now thousands of dollars in debt, nothing to show for it. And to further that, I have handfuls of friends who went to college, graduated, and can't use their degree. They can't seem to find a job in their field. They're still working like fast food and retail, or maybe they got factory jobs, because that's what everybody in my town does. They work at factories. And they have thousands of dollars worth of debt and nothing really to show for it. They might have a piece of paper with a degree on it, but they can't seem to use it. Even my husband, he struggles trying to find jobs. He has a bachelor's degree in IT, computer science type stuff. I don't really fully know all of it. And he struggles finding jobs. And he's 35, and he has 10 plus years of experience in the field. And he still hasn't been able to find a job in my town. He can only find work like an hour away. So I really feel like that's something that needs to be talked about. I don't feel like college should be getting shoved down people's throats, especially when it's not working out for so many people. You can do entrepreneurial things and start your own business without having a college degree. You can go to a tech school and learn a trade skill. I ended up taking on a couple of grooming apprenticeships for pet grooming, and I'm a pet groomer, and I honestly wish that I would have just went to a grooming school out of high school and learned that trade, because it was something I was interested in, and I wish I would have done that, because it would have served me so much better than the years that I wasted in college not getting anything out of it. And whew, man, if I had one thing to do over in life, it would be college. I would redo going to college by not going. I would have gotten a factory job, making decent money here in town. I would have went to a trade school for grooming a lot sooner, or tried to get an apprenticeship a lot sooner for grooming, or doing something other than college. I know my cousin currently is in an apprenticeship for welding, and he's making pretty decent money learning a trade that way, learning to be a welder. And there's so many things that you can do and make a good career for yourself in life that doesn't involve college. And I would seriously caution anyone who struggled in high school from going to college immediately after you graduate. I definitely think that you need a little bit more worldly experience. I personally feel like if I went back to college now, I would have a better direction of what I wanted to do. I found that I love YouTube, I love filming, and I'm actually making a little bit of money on it. And so if I was to go back to college, I'd probably go back for communications, business and communications probably. I feel like I have a better head on my shoulders, I'm more grounded, and I feel like I would do a lot better job with staying focused in school. To be completely honest, I just wasn't mature enough for college when I first went, and I wasn't ready. And that's okay to not be ready, but you need to recognize when you're not ready for college, because if you're not ready for college and you go, then you end up wasting a ton of money, let me tell you what. And I regret it. That's what it comes down to. I regret going to college. I wish I hadn't went, and I would caution anyone from going if you really struggled in school. I mean, if you flew through high school and you did awesome in it, and you're just a really good student and it's something that you excel in, then college is probably going to be really good for you. I'm not trying to sit here and say nobody should go to college. People need to go to college. We need doctors, we need lawyers, we need teachers. You know, we need those kind of people. But we also need welders and plumbers and dog groomers and beauticians and mechanics and all these other people. We need all these other fields filled as well with people who can work them. And college isn't for everybody, you know. And I just think that people should possibly look into going to trade schools and apprenticeships first before jumping into college, especially if you really struggled in school for high school. That's just my 2 cents on the whole thing. So that's my story for the day. That's how I got kicked out of 2 colleges. That's my story. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you can find it relatable, feel free to leave your comments down below. Tell me your stories down below. Did you struggle in college as well? Did you decide to skip college and do something else? Do you regret going to college? Are you happy you went? Is it the best thing you ever did? Leave me your comments and your stories down below. I'd love to talk to you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.